Hey folks, welcome back to the Portable Gamer, welcome back to European Truck Simulator 2, and welcome to Hull. What are we doing in Hull? Well, there's always something going on, you know that. And I have to tell you in advance, it's going to be kind of a weird video. I'm not feeling too good. Not feeling exactly like myself. I'm a bit off. Right. 1.33 dropped last week, you know that. I didn't go with 1.33. I rolled back to 1.32 because 1.33 obviously broke ProMods. Well, this morning at 3:30, just as I'm going to sleep, I get a notification that ProMods 2.31 just dropped. So I download it, I install it, I go to the ProMods blog to see what's up, and it says that you need North, which is Scandinavia, you need Going East, you need Vive la France, and you need Italia DLC for ProMods 2.31. Okay, fair enough. But then, I'm sorry, 2.32. Okay, fair enough. But then it says it's not compatible with Beyond the Baltic Sea, but the game will still run. So I look a little deeper, and basically what it says is the ProMods Finland areas will simply overwrite the SCS Beyond the Baltic Sea areas. Well, I don't know how I feel about that. So I didn't get Beyond the Baltic Sea when it dropped a couple hours ago. I'm going to hold off on that until ProMods 2.33, right, which will sort that out. I'm a little bit miffed, I have to say. I'm not like upset or anything, but we'll get into that in a second as we start driving. But let me tell you about 1.33. It does have buyable high-capacity transport double trailers. You need to have a garage in Finland to buy them. It's got buyable double flatbed trailers that will go anywhere in Scandinavia, I guess. Buyable containers and brick trailers, which is the dynamite trailer, which was a very rare trailer to be assigned, and it wasn't buyable till now. There's a buyable Krona box liner. Krona? You say Krona? You say Krone. There's a box liner available now. This is very cool. Reusable truck and trailer configuration templates. I'm sorry I'm not showing you any of these things, but you can't really see them too well anyway. Reusable truck and trailer configuration templates. That is awesome. If you want all your company vehicles to look the same, you don't have to build them each one again the same way. You can just build a template and use it. The raindrop behavior, I'll show that. It is raining, and that's a very cool look. Music shuffling, that means nothing to me. Country and city name localization settings. Localization, man, I hope I don't have a brain tumor or something, because I'm just falling apart here. Disable beacons for people having issues with blinking lights. That's a nice thing, very courteous. And 2 new port cities added: Kapellskär in Sweden and looks like Travemünde in Germany. Okay, various customization options. All right, that's cool. Let me show you the good stuff first, and then I'll start complaining. You know how I do. This is a trailer that we just got. It is in Helsinki. This is a floor container with pins. It's kind of a half-assed way to show you a trailer, but I don't really know any other way to do it. So yeah, this is a double, and I guess with these pins on here, this is meant to sit an intermodal container, and this is a level 26 configuration. It's basically just all axles. What'd you call me? So there's that. This is the box liner, and it's, I guess we used to call this the gooseneck earlier, but this is this takes a small intermodal container. So we got one of those. This is the dynamite hauler, right? And this is also, I guess, a Finland only or a Scandinavia only, right? It's got the crane, very nice. We also got a reefer, high capacity. This is Finland only. Gigantic. Can't wait to drive it. And that's it. We just got these 4. Through 1.33. We've obviously those other trailers, but those are the 4 that are specific to 1.33. While we're here, since we're in Hull, let's pick up a cargo. Last time we met, we were in, we had just left Plymouth bound for Birmingham, maybe Liverpool. We were headed up that way. Surely we don't want to go back that way. We do kind of want to go up that way, but that's a long trip. We don't want to go quite that far. We don't want to go to London. Wrong direction. Porthmadog. This could work. This could work. Okay. Sheffield, even better. Nah, not quite far enough. All right. Yep, I guess that's going to be it. So, we're taking some tomatoes. You say tomatoes, you say tomatoes. We're taking them. Okay, cool. And we're going to hop in here. We are still in our... Nice that you can see it in daylight. It seems like I've been doing a lot of night videos. It's not on purpose. It's just working out that way. But we are still in our Volvo Rigid with our tiny little Ikari dolly box. Yeah. Right. Let's hop in. The rain does look better, I have to say. It's a weird thing to say. Rain? Who the hell cares? Well, I don't know, man. It's just different. It just looks different. And what I like about it is the way it pushes that sort of ridge of water up as the wiper comes vertical and then leaves it there. I feel like that's more crisp than it used to be, a little bit more detailed. I don't know, but I like it. I personally like it. What else? The physics is different. Now, I'm running all of the drivetrain revision mods. And I'm also running Freakin' 64 physics. I think those two work well together. And where I'm sort of in that unknown place right now is I don't know what the new physics changes in base game do to either one of those mods. And what I mean by that is, like, there were some mods that when I fired up 1.33 for the first time last week before I rolled back to 1.32, there were several mods that I could see. Obviously, ProMods was broken. There were a couple others that were broken. But there were other mods that, well, I have 120 mods, so there were a bunch of mods that didn't say they were broken. But it's like this weird gray area, because it's like, all right, just because you're not broken doesn't mean that you're compatible. And an example is I was running Grimes late autumn, early winter weather, and that breaks, well, 1.33 breaks that mod, but it doesn't say that. It says it's compatible, but it's not. Sound Fixes initially was not compatible, but it said it was. So there are some mods that it says they're compatible, but they're sort of not. You know, they're in that gray area. So I feel like the drivetrain revisions and Freakin' 64 physics, we'll have to see. I guess we'll have to see in a way if we even need them anymore, or if the base game physics changes do a better job at fixing physics than drivetrain revision and the physics mod that I'm running. I guess I don't need to run, well, I don't want to run two mods that do the same thing, and I particularly don't want to run two mods that interfere with one another. Oh, really? All right. Okay. All right. And we're trying to do this without the mini-map. Okay. I've got a gear indicator. It's just very, very small. And I can't see it when my head is turned to the side. So we're okay. The game is stable and running. I did have to turn off all the Grimes weather that I was running. Now, he's got his own WordPress site. He speaks his own language, this guy. He's got his own WordPress site, and if you go there, you can get the official, like, link to the website that he wants you to download the patch from, the mod. And when you do it that way, I feel like, okay, now, you know, I can trust this guy. I know that's for reals. This is a bad idea. Oh, we're gonna jackknife horribly getting out of here. Oh, ProMods. Right. So let's pick up our cargo here. Where are we going? We're going to... Got it. Right. Now, where is it? Oh. So we are going to have to do... Son of a... We're going to have to do an auto load. And I'm concerned... I am concerned that it's going to glitch us into one of those two structures, because that's like exactly... See me snaking and weaving here? That is exactly like the length of the truck. Oh, this is going to be so bad. Oh, I don't even need to keep moving. I can do it right here. All right. Cover your ears, darling. Oh, God. Oh. Oh, game. Okay. Get ready for a 1,000-point turn. Alright, we were still running. Okay, so. Let me see how we want to do this. First, we want to drop our lift axle. Then we want to put her in reverse. You know, I think I may only need to do a couple of turns. Anyway, if you go to the Grimes WordPress site, you will get the official link for where he wants you to download those, so you know they're legit, you know, from the boss. And I'm really sorry about this. This is just a pain in the ass to get out of here. A lot of head faking. Is this enough? Nope, got to do one more. So those will be fixed in time, patched up to 1.33. Jesus. And we'll be good to go. But in the meantime, they are not, so I had to pull those out. Finally. Sweet monkey. Okay, so there's that, and we're rolling. Whew. I am not going to run beyond the Baltic Sea for a minute. I'm going to wait until the new ProMods comes out, because I wouldn't be able to see those areas anyway. So I'm not sure what the point would be. And we're in the right gear? Yeah, we're in the right gear. So I don't know what the point would be. I think we can hold off on that. And I guess that leads me to then the thing I wanted to talk about, which is, are we getting to peak mod? And by that I mean, concentrating. Are we getting to a point where keeping our games running is beginning to interfere with the enjoyment we get from actually playing our games, our sims? And, you know, if this is all you play, like if you're just into ETS2, then this is all you need to worry about. And if most or all of your mods come in through the Steam Workshop, I mean, obviously ProMods does not, Grimes does not, but the majority of my mods do now, and they sort of maintain themselves, although occasionally a mod will get abandoned, and when the game patches, it will just never catch up. Okay, it happens. It doesn't happen too often. The big ones, you know, things like the Ikari trailers by Cast, very regularly updated. This Pendragon Volvo that we're in, very regularly updated. So I feel like the good mods do get enough love, right? So you don't need to worry about those. Even so, you need to put some effort into keeping the game running now if you're modded. Running. And with one game, it can be kind of a pain in the ass, but I have like a dozen sims and a lot of them are heavily modded. I'm not complaining, I'm not crying the blues, I'm just pointing out that it does take some time and effort. Obviously, the solution to that is don't mod your games. There, problem solved. Quit your whining. You're right. But I feel like the way that this 1.33 Beyond the Baltic Sea ProMods 2.32 rollout has been handled, now maybe it's a one-off, and in the future it will always be handled smoothly. But I feel like this has been a bit of a kerfuffle, you know? It seems like ProMods could have held their patch till 2.33. I know they are a very popular mod. Yeah, that's what I mean. I'm having a hard time talking. I really hope I'm not, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, losing my mind or something? That would suck. So, ProMods is an extremely popular mod, and I know they wanted to get it out as soon as possible. And if you go to their blog, it's a bunch of people just saying, you know, when's it going to be released? When's it going to be released? Well, it'll be done when it's done. All right, fair enough. So they had people, geez, that sign was, whoa, okay. So they had people kind of leaning on them, like, we want it now. So they did it now, but it doesn't have the Finland and Beyond the Baltic Sea integration. And then on the other side, I feel like 1.33 came so soon after 1.32, and I mean, 1.33 just dropped in ATS. I follow these games. I go to the blogs. Both of these snuck up on me. So I was thinking, what if there was like a spring and a fall patch, and everything that SCS had to put into those patches, like everything that had built up between the spring patch and October goes into the fall patch, and then again the same thing for the spring patch. Everything that they come up with over the winter, right? Seems simple enough. And because there are several major modders, right, like ProMods, they can get concentrating, they can get the haps, right, a few weeks early, so they can do what they need to do, and then everything drops on or about the same day. And you only need to fix your game once, or in this case twice per year. But I feel like I've gone through this, I don't want to say 3 times. Yeah, 3 times in the past 6 months. And it's not a big deal. It's just a video game. And if you don't like it, don't mod it. You know, if you just want it to run simple, don't mod it, and everything will be fine. I get all that, and I completely agree with that. At the same time, it's beginning to seem a little bit... Are these stop signs facing the wrong way? Ah, they're not stop signs. At the same time, it is beginning to seem a little bit of a mod frenzy. So I don't know where I'm at with that. Well, I know where I'm at with that. I'm too busy doing other stuff to put a ton of time into keeping my games just running. I mean, I'm putting enough time into playing them, but the part about keeping them running is, you know, now it can be fun. It definitely can be fun, you know, hunting mods and getting things configured, and that feeling of satisfaction that you get when you make it work. I have so many mods running that my game should not be running or stable at all, and yet it is, and that's satisfying. I'm a little smug about that. My ego approves. At the same time, you know, I don't want that. I don't want to spend more time fixing the game than I do playing it, and I don't. I really don't. But sometimes it feels like I am. So anyway, that's just me whining. I can also tell you I'm running. Let me tell you about my hard drives. I have a M2 NVMe SSD, and I have a SATA SSD. I was running my OS on the M2 SSD and my Sims, my games, on the SATA SSD. I read me a thread. It said, don't do that. What you want to do is you want to run your OS on your SATA SSD, and you want to run your games on your M2. So if you know ETS2 with ProMods, if you're on a spinner, the first time you load the game after you've messed with your mod folder, it takes like literally 7 or 8 minutes to load off a spinner. And then the subsequent times it'll load in like a minute or 2. If you're on an SSD, it takes like 5 minutes to load the first time. And then after that, it takes 30 seconds, maybe 45 seconds. I swapped everything over, so I'm loading ETS2 off that M2 drive now, that NVMe. It seriously loads. The game loads in 10 seconds. Like, I always used to have time to... I would start the game up, right? You go into the mod manager, that page with your profile and everything, and you hit continue game, right? And I would have time to go pour myself a cup of coffee or something. Now, I don't even have time to like take a sip of coffee. I hit continue game, it goes to the yellow bar, and it's done, and it loads as fast as ETS2 with no mods. So if you have the option, if you have an M2 slot and you have an M2 SSD, if you have the option to configure your OS on a separate drive and your Sims on your M2 drive, give it a try, because it definitely sped things up. And I'm hoping, the reason I actually did it is I'm hoping it will reduce some of the hitching that I was getting that I think may have been big ProMod scenery tiles loading. So we'll see. I also am having anti-aliasing problems in all of my Sims, which to me points to drivers, NVIDIA drivers. NVIDIA drops the ball sometimes with their drivers, and I know the 1050 is, I'm reluctant to call it an economy card because it treats me right for the most part. I mean, looking out the window here, this is a pretty good render, and we're at 60 FPS. No complaints about my little 1050, except it gets a little jaggy sometimes. And when I say a little, I mean a lot, and it's gotten worse lately. So I suspect that is latest drivers that downloaded, and NVIDIA does drop the ball sometimes. That's why they let you roll back. If a driver update does not work for you, you have the option to roll back. Well, this has been going on like 3 months, so it's a little too late for me to roll back because I don't know what to roll back to. But like in ETS right now, I finally gave up. I did a DDU driver uninstall. Moment, please, concentrating. I did a DDU driver uninstall, and then I did a clean install, deleted all my profiles, and I had been making a lot of adjustments per game in the NVIDIA control panel, and I guess, you know, what I found online and what I've sort of concluded for myself is, yeah, don't do that. Don't try to outsmart everything. So I just set the global settings in the control panel, and now I'm making the individual adjustments per game in the game. In other words, I'm making the adjustments for the graphics quality in ETS2 in the ETS2 graphics settings. And for the most part, that seems to be working. I'm having good luck with that. What I've noticed is in something like ETS2 that only has, you can turn the anti-aliasing on or off, but there's no slider for it like there is in some games, 2x, 4x, 8x. It's just on or off. And then the way you get rid of your jaggies in this game is by adjusting the scaling. And we're at 200% right now, holding 60 FPS. I think I may try to go 300%, and I've seen that help in the past, so perhaps it'll help now. But I guess that ties in with what I was saying earlier about mods, and I guess that's why I envy console players. You just turn it on and play. You know, you don't have to deal with some of this. So that, I guess that's not really a channel thing. That's more of a me thing. But yeah, that's going on too. And what really brought my attention to it was FS19, which is not. It's a pretty game, you know, but it's not. It's not exactly. You know what I'm saying? It's not that. So I was sort of baffled why that's not running faster and looking better. And I know my system is not a rocket ship, but I feel like it ought to be able to handle something like Farm Sim. So that's what brought my attention to it. But then I noticed that it's sort of carrying over to my other sims. So I'll keep efforting, I'll keep working on it, and eventually I'm going to use this as an excuse to buy a new system. And I feel like for a lot of people, I feel like there's one game that is very often the catalyst to buy a new system. It can be any game, but I feel like there's a point you get to where you buy a game and you realize, like, okay, I can no longer pretend that my system is running new releases. You know, I've been dialing the quality down further and further and further to keep them running, but I'm getting to a point where I just have to admit that I need a new system. I need a new gaming rig. So it's been on my radar for a while. And, you know, I knew when I got my system, I knew it wasn't going to last super long in terms of its ability to run games and sims, particularly not the quality that I expect. In some of the threads that I was prowling around about the jaggies and the sawtooth, a comment that I saw over and over was, look, man, pixels are square and we're fussy. You know, at a certain point, there's nothing you can do about it. At a certain point, you're looking for it. And if you're looking for it, you're always going to see it, because the best system in the world struggles to render things like cables. You know, you've got row after row after row of black lines against a sky. They're always going to have jaggies. There's just nothing you can do about it. And some of the responses were, yeah, you're right. And then other responses were, well, no, I mean, you can you can get, an RTX 2080 and render it 4K, and you know how people are. And they're right. That is a true fact. You can do that, but I can't do that. So the consensus in these threads that I was reading, and I agree with this, is you get the best system you can afford, and then you really try to kind of overlook their shortcomings, because if you begin to fixate on them, that's all you'll see. I was very much into high-end audio for a while, and one of the things that people that are really into audio talk about is, if you are going to get a new component, or if you're going to change your system or improve your system, don't listen to your system for a few weeks before you go to a listening room to hear other systems or other components. The reason you don't want to listen to your system before you go to a listening room is the first system you hear that does what yours does not will sound like the fix. What's this gangsta doing, sir? There he goes. Does that make sense? The first one you hear that does what yours doesn't will sound better than yours, even if it's deficient in every other way, because you've come to a point where all you're hearing is what your system doesn't do. And I think that is absolutely true of the way we game, and how fussy we are, and how particular we are about our games, and how we very often, as much as we enjoy these sims and as immersive as they are, it's like it almost takes effort, because for a lot of us there are things like jaggies, or load times, or whatever. It could be any of 100 different things that just pulls you out of the game. Sir? Could have been handled better. I'll admit that. But I didn't hit anything, and I didn't get a ticket. That's what I care about. So yeah, and I've asked people that watch my videos for me. I've asked them, like, I'll send somebody a link and say, hey, check this out, what do you think of it? And they'll say, it's fine. And I'm like, the image quality didn't bother you? And they're like, well, what do you mean? And I'll mention some graphical shortcoming, and they're like, I have no idea what you're talking about. All I saw was somebody driving a tractor. So I feel like some of these things, I mean, the channel has always been, and I think always will be, about gaming, and about me gaming as much as about the sim that we're in, right? So I'm not role-playing that I'm a truck driver right now. I'm playing a video game and talking about sim gaming with you. So, I'm not looking to, like, point these things out to you and then have them all be, like, can't be unseen. It's not what I'm after. But, I know that, well, I see tons of threads. I find, stuff on Reddit. I find stuff on the NVIDIA forums. I find stuff everywhere. People trying to sort out their graphics problems, and sort of the struggles, the struggles. So I guess what I'm saying is, I hope I'm not, like, drawing attention to these things and then going on and on about them when you don't notice them or care, and you're just here to see somebody drive a truck. But yeah, I mean, it's always, the channel is always going to be about gaming as much as about the game that we're in. So yeah, this is the stuff that's kind of on my mind. But I'll sort it out. Or, like I said, I'll use it as an excuse to buy a new system. Would not be the first person to have done that, I'm sure. All right, so we're right at 30 minutes. I want to see how far we have to go. Having said that, I'm very pleased with the render. I'm very pleased with the frame rate. And I did something when I downloaded ProMods that I've never done before. So ProMods, the first step to downloading is you generate a def file. And it gives you a ton of options. It lets you pick, like, the colors of various things in the mini-map. It lets you pick your sound levels. It lets you pick your damage settings. You can select no damage if you want. That's super cool. So there's half a dozen or so things that you can select, and one of the things that you can select is draw distance, and it's got low spec PC, standard, average spec, it's got high spec PC, and it's got, I want to say it's got ultra. So I had always picked high spec PC, not ultra, but high spec, because I figured that's me. But then I also noticed pretty precipitous FPS drops with ProMods that I would then like go crazy trying to overcome. So today I just, sir. So today I just like, swallowed my pride and went with standard. And we're holding at 60 FPS in ProMods, which was not always, we could get there. But I feel like it took some doing, and now it just, good to go. And that's at night with lights on in weather and everything on high and a couple things on ultra. So I think, that I guess ties in with the first, which is, well, it ties in with both the things that I wanted to talk to you about today, which is our expectations about, how these developers and mod makers are going to take care of us, and how we don't want to let ourselves maybe get too demanding. And then the other thing is our expectations for how our games look and how we see them and how other people see them. And yeah, so it's been a weird day. I'm amazed that I sort of came around, because I was feeling really kind of like goofy earlier. I mean, yeah, I know you're saying like, gee, we hadn't noticed. But I really wasn't feeling myself. I was feeling a bit off. So I'm glad that I sorted myself out. So, and once again, we're doing a night video. Not my plan, but it's what's been working out. God, this game, I think this game is really, really pretty at night. I really do. And I find this to be incredibly immersive. I could, man, if I didn't have a YouTube channel, I could just only drive at night. Like, if there was a mod to make this game just nighttime. In fact, there used to be. There was a mod called Polish Winter Nights. And it was the day-night cycle from the shortest day of the year in the northernmost region of Poland. Okay. That's how you want to get down. And that was how I wanted to get down. That was when I first started playing ETS, which was back in 1.25, 1.26. Man, I just thought it was the bee's knees. Now, something that I can tell you is I am caught in the trap that every mod that I've ever been like enamored with, I need to somehow find a way to make it work. I'm having a really hard time letting go of any mods, even ones that I don't really use, which is also a bad habit of mine in Farm Sim, although I think it's going to be a bit easier in FS19, because I made a commitment to only download sims from the Giants mod. See, that's what I mean. Like, I trip over a word now and then, but I've really been like, you know what I mean? I'm not feeling myself. It's a weird thing. I'm only going to download mods from the Giants mod hub, and I want to see if that keeps my mod folder thinned out and also contributes to the quality, because I feel like a lot of the dead mods that I had in my mod folder that I never used, the reason I never used them is because they suck. I just forgot to delete them. So that's one thing. And then the exceptions, of course, will be, well, I guess Courseplay makes its way to the mod hub. More Realistic does. What else? GPS, I want to say. Proceed. Yeah, there's plenty of things that make their way to the mod hub. There's not too many that you need to get from GitHub. There's a few, but I'm going to try to keep my mod folder thinned out. I'm doing a good job of that in ATS, although 1.33 for ATS broke the Viper 389, which I finally just got working. I've loved that truck for years, but there were always FPS problems with the mirrors. The new developer finally fixed it. It was developed by one modder, and then it was handed off to another modder, and the new modder finally fixed the mirrors, and I can hold a high FPS inside, right, and was never able to do that. So now that I finally got it working, I'm afraid to start the game, because the first time I start the game, it's going to delete that truck and replace it with just a generic truck, you know? So not only will we lose the money, but then I'll need to rebuild it when it does get patched over. But I can't not play ATS till then. It could be months, or they may never patch it up. The truck, I mean, not the game. So now what's weird about that is I went in and found all the broken mods. Some of them were skins, oddly enough. I had skins that broke because of a patch. What? I don't understand. So I got rid of those, and then I confirmed my changes and exited the mod manager, and then I rolled the game back to 1.32. Well, funny story. My profile is now forever locked to 1.33, and I can't open it, right? Like, if I roll forward to 1.33, I can open that profile, but I'll never start the game because I'll immediately lose my Viper 389, right? But I can't open it in 1.32. It's just a mess is what I'm saying. It's a scene, man. It's a proper scene. So I don't know what to do about that. I'm literally just going to have to wait until the Viper 389 is released. And I sound like an ass every time I say this. I sound like I'm... Really? Who did I hit? That guy, apparently? Alright. I sound like I'm being an ass every time I say this, and I'm really not trying to be. But that's when it sort of comes in handy that I have, like, zero traffic on my channel. Which is not to say that I don't love and appreciate all of you that are watching right now. That's not what I mean. But I feel like if I, don't make any ATS videos for a few weeks, it's not like people are suddenly going to abandon my channel in droves. I don't even have droves, man. I got no droves. Not a single drove. So yeah, well, I'll sort out ATS. I'll find some way to whatever. I'll fix it. And I think that's it. I think that's all I got. I can't believe I hit a truck back there. And I'm pretty sure when I check the replay, that'll be 100% my fault because I did not stay in my lane. And yeah, man, I feel like I'm falling apart. I don't know what's going on. It's not good. Whatever it is, it's not good. But we'll see. Maybe I just need, maybe I just need to hydrate. You ever have somebody tell you that? You're like, I feel like total ass. And they say, are you hydrated? What? Oh, yeah, I'll cure it with water. Okay. Now, this is interesting. Do we want to go down here? Yes, I think we do. Sorry. I will be very careful going around here after I very carefully exited the freeway. I'll be very careful going around here so as not to cause any mayhem or deviltry. Try not to hit anybody else. Alright, man, I hate when I do that. I've been doing that more lately, though. I did that badly in a farm sim video. I hit a pole in a parking lot. It wasn't even moving. Jeezy Pete's. Right, so we go around here. Then we take this one. We do. I did just see a hitch right there. I feel like they're quicker, right? And they don't scare me anymore because the game's not crashing. Other than a couple weeks back, those toll gates in Spain, but I sort of knew that. I sort of knew that was a ProMods thing. Now, the funny thing is, if they fix that in 2.32, but I ain't never going back to Spain, so I won't know that. I won't know whether they fixed it or not, because I ain't going. And this is so pretty. I really could just drive like this all the time. I love it. Carefully, speed limity. Oh, we got some kind of little chicane coming up here. Looks like a bit of excitement. Wow, this is really pretty. Wow. Okay. All right. Now, where do we go here? It looks like we go... Is this just a roundabout? No. Wow, this is really pretty. Okay. I can't tell if those lights in the windows are lights in the windows or if those are sun reflections. I also thought I was clipping the curb over and over and over, but I guess that's a rough section of road. Wow. Okay. Scared the hell out of me. All right. Yeah, I guess those are lights in the windows, not the sun, because they're the same on all sides. Okay. That was very nice. That was very, very nice. And I think it looks like we're just about here. Okay. Yeah, this has been a bit of a wonky episode, I must say, but thanks for hanging in there. And I really do appreciate you. I know my audience is growing, and I know I definitely have some regulars, because they're, I'll drop a video and within an hour I'll see like 5 views. So I know there's some people out there that hopefully are enjoying the videos and get what I'm trying to do with the channel. So I really do appreciate you. And it's nice to come here every day and hang out with you, play some video games, talk about gaming and talk about life, and just, like that. Right, so I'm gonna turn around here. I don't see a white line in the middle, so I'm just taking up the whole, you know what I'm saying? Everything. All of it. Right through here. I also have another truck when we get to, it's not Land's End, is it? The northernmost point, up past Inverness, I want to say. Yeah. I've got a truck in mind. I've got a truck and trailer in mind that we are going to take to Iceland. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be very exciting, and it's going to be very appropriate for some place as inhospitable as Iceland. And I think the timing is going to work out just about right, that we're going to get to Iceland right about January 1st, which will be perfect, because that will be, it's already getting cold where I'm in the American South. It's never super, super cold, but it's getting to a point, and I'm trying to get to a point where we both get to, I know I'm kind of making a mess of this, but I can save it. I can save it. Oh, game. It's getting to a point where I feel like if I time it just right, we can be pulling off the ferry in Iceland on January 1st. Or the first video that we do, like the closest video that we do to January 1st. You know what I mean. You always know what I mean. Right, and I'm going to do, well, it should be a pull-through because we've got a dolly. Beautiful. Just right in there. Okay. Although they do want us to, mount the curb, sir. So let's just go right in here. Get this unloaded. Beautiful. So we'll put her in neutral. Set the brake. Turn the wipers off. Turn the parking lights on. Turn the engine off. Shut her down and see how we did. Fantastic. Beautiful. We're getting up there to closing in on level 28. There you go, folks. Thanks for stopping back to check out the Portable Gamer. Thanks for joining us for another episode of European Truck Simulator 2. And we'll see you next time. Take care now.